densely populated area on Earth has gone from being an open-air prison camp with prison guards at both ends at Israel and Egypt, and it has now become a death camp. With bombs, bullets, phosphorus shells, tanks and soldiers, the apocalyptic scenes we are witnessing in Gaza are not the stuff of movies, but they are the ingredients for an induced nightmare. Except children wake up from nightmares in real life, but the reality in Gaza, with the bombs, the drones, the tanks, and death raining down from the sky, no shelter, no food, no security, no hope, just endless death and destruction, is the daily debt of privations, of hopelessness being showered onto the innocent families, the non-combatants, mothers and children, the elderly and the vulnerable, the sick and the disabled, who make up the 80% of the dead and injured in Gaza. So if the people of the world stand with Gaza and stand with Palestine, why is this unholy war of immorality and death continuing? Well, the conflict did not begin on October 7, 2023. Indeed, it did not even begin in 1948. It began with pogroms by Christians against the adherents of Judaism in Europe that led to the birth of militant Jewish Zionism, and the dream of a land without a people, for a people without a land, Zionism's first lie, and they have been lying to us ever since. There are many types of solidarity: governmental, popular and individual. While the governments of the access of assistance give bombs, financial support and political cover to the apartheid fascist regime in Tel Aviv, others in the access of resistance from Iraq to Lebanon, Syria, Yemen and Iran try to prevent the ongoing genocide in Gaza in accordance with international law and the Geneva Convention. We must ask what we as civil society can do, where do we fit in, and how can we make a difference. In Ireland, every week, each Saturday, thousands of people attend rallies in Belfast, Dublin, Cork, Derry and many other places. They are called out onto the streets to show their support for Palestine. They listen to speeches, they hear calls for a ceasefire, and then they go shopping, they have a beer or they have lunch. They have been asked to march, so they march, but nothing else is done. People are asked to boycott McDonald's, Starbucks and Nestle, but there are no boycotts of these individual premises which should be taken as standard. The failure of the Irish-Palestine Solidarity Campaign is their failure to turn passive action into sustainable solidarity. I could argue that far from promoting the call to stand with Palestine, they are in effect acting as a safety valve to disperse societal anger at the genocide taking place in Gaza. I asked people on the marches what they achieved by marching for the last 6 months, and they said, well, at least we are doing something. Einstein said repeating the same action over and over again while expecting a different outcome is the very definition of madness. I welcome rallies as a first step on the road to activism. Indeed, that is how I became involved in the fight for Palestinian self-determination. But we must all do much more than attend a rally, wave a flag and feel somehow we have made a difference, and then go about our daily lives as if nothing has happened. That is why in 2010, I joined the Viva Palestina 5 medical aid convoy to Gaza. We were the first convoy to break the siege on Gaza from the attack on the ship the Mavi Marmara. This is where I met my good friend Nabil, and I went on a second convoy in 2014 to Gaza. I'm a volunteer director of Palestine Aid, a small registered charity based in Belfast in the north of Ireland. Since 2011, we have supplied solar panels to the Al Amal orphanage in Gaza City, now destroyed during the war on Gaza in 2021. We provided scholarships at the Islamic University in Gaza, now destroyed in 2024. We have supplied hundreds of children with winter coats and boots, thousands of school copybooks so children could complete their homeworks, fun days at the beach and sports days with medals and trophies. All of that is now impossible. While thousands of aid trucks were prevented from gaining access to Gaza as the Zionist supremacists try to starve Gazans into submission, Palestinian Belfast, a small charity run by two unpaid activists, is helping to feed hundreds of displaced families in Rafah. We have a small team of volunteers in Gaza who source commercially available tinned food items to feed 100 displaced families for 5 to 7 days at a cost of €3,000. I asked a friend recently in occupied territories, what can we do to help? He told me things are very bad in the West Bank, but no one will take food from the mouth of a dying child, and to direct all our efforts to Gaza. Solidarity might begin with waving a flag, but it must end with informed activists performing true acts of solidarity. In conclusion, I have personally moved well past waving a flag and calling for a ceasefire. My solidarity goes beyond 60 minutes at Belfast city centre, followed by a nice lunch. A dear friend once told me, we do not need people to go and fight in Palestine, we need you to fight in your own country for the dignity for Palestinians. Palestine unfree will never be at peace. The American war on Islam via Gaza, like the American war on Russia via the Ukraine, are two examples of American and European imperialism. I stand with the people of Donbass. Indeed, for our Russian and Georgian comrades, I was an election monitor in Lugansk in 2018. Solidarity is best expressed by standing shoulder to shoulder with oppressed people everywhere. So I stand with Donbass, I stand with the actions of resistance, and I say that we must do more than talk about Palestine, we must do more than march and wave flags. As an individual, we can do much more than we think, and I ask people to do more than they think they can.